What if I told you that a doctor at a major university hospital in the United States was fired for refusing to falsely label parents as child abusers? On Friday, I received notice that Dr. Sharon, a doctor at the University of Minnesota, was fired for doing just this and has filed a federal lawsuit. What that lawsuit says is absolutely horrifying, and if you are a parent or a caregiver, you should be concerned about this news. After 17 years of employment at this university, Dr. Sharon came forward and said that the university had a scheme to falsely diagnose abuse in children where it didn't exist. This is a direct quote from an article that I will flash up on the screen, but according to this lawsuit, doctors were encouraged to manipulate medical evidence that could have proven parents were innocent, all to increase child abuse prosecutions. Why? The answer is because the more cases that they find, the more money they receive, and the more prestige the establishment gets. There is a $23 million child abuse grant where counties get funded based solely on how many child abuse cases are open. I'm going to let that sink in. $23 million grant. This is another quote from this article. After a child abuse specialist arrived, reports of physical abuse in one county jumped more than 200%. Dr. Sharon says when he disagreed with an abuse diagnosis and suggested medical causes instead of abuse, he would be removed from a case. When he reported it to leadership, they did not stop it. Instead, they fired him. And instead of taking action, they later spread false claims of sexual misconduct against this man, even though his termination letter never mentioned anything of the sort. He's now lost his career in something that he loves doing, which is helping children, and has essentially been blackballed from finding work elsewhere because of this. In this article, he's quoted to say that the system is hurting children and destroying innocent families with this. This is now the third federal lawsuit of this type, raising these exact same concerns. So here's the real question. How many families have been falsely accused, not only here at this hospital, but on a national level, and even bigger, a global level? I sit here and talk all the time about these stories from Children's Mercy in Kansas City, but they're happening on a global scale. And if this doctor was brave enough to come forward, and we see what happens the minute that he did, think about why other doctors are too scared to come forward at their hospitals, and how many families are being destroyed in the process. Time and time again, we see what happens when good doctors who actually care about families and children come forward to tell the truth. And time again, we see that money continues to reign supreme and more important than actual health care. So I want you to think about that the next time you choose to run your child to a medical facility, especially one with a child abuse specialist or pediatrician on staff. I've often commented about the grant funding that funds Children's Mercy. I think there is a very clear tie between all of these things. I don't have enough proof to make that tie just yet, but it's not to say it's not coming. Please be careful who you trust with the health care of your family, because these stories are just going to keep coming out the louder parents like me are being on the internet. Thank you and have a great day.